如今最愉快的聊天方式是微信打赏红包，最轻松的花钱方式是网购。家庭主妇们都上网交水电费了，投资理财也不再只是银行里进行的活动，普通人们拿着手机就可以干金融家的活儿。这个就是连续数年增长，仅仅去年就在全球吸金超过130亿美金的火热领域——互联网金融，在美国也被称为 fintech。
今天我们来说一说互联网金融这个概念很火，不少的网友还给我留言问，到底什么是互联网金融？在英文中呢叫它 fintech。其实在美国呢，大家说的并不是太多。美国的金融行业呢非常的成熟和健全，所以这些呢大的金融公司呢，他们有实力，而且呢也有眼光，很早就开始呢开发呢相关的互联网移动的金融服务产品了。但就算是这样，科技的变化呢，还是让金融行业呢腾出了一些地方呢给创新企业。一会儿我们就要去拜访一家公司，叫做 CommonBond。我们想要通过这家公司，让你了解一下美国的互联网金融公司到底是怎么发展的，而他们呢从事的行业也非常有意思，是学生贷款。
My name's Dave Carter. I'm going to my second year at Stern. So started off thinking, you know what, I'm going back to school. Obviously, I need a lot of money for this. So I thought the only option was the federal government. Then I noticed a couple of articles talking about private lenders, and so I looked into that. There's a couple big names in it, CommonBond, SoFi, a few others. I looked primarily just at the interest rate. At that time, the lowest interest rate for me was CommonBond. So in total, for 2 years, we're talking close to $20,000. So me being, the MBA mind, savings is by far, in a way, the most important thing for me. Pretty much every student I know is taking out some student loan.
Is it very common that American students take loans to pay their tuitions?
Yeah, it's pretty common. In business school alone, about 2/3 of all students need student loans to help pay for school. And in some cases, it's even higher than 2/3 of the student body.
据《纽约时报》报道，美国学生贷款的债务总额已经达到1.2万亿美金。那些让人羡慕嫉妒恨的美国政商界大佬们，还有华尔街的金童们，不少在学生时代也是贷款交学费，才华丽丽地完成屌丝逆袭的。
Why do you want to start this company?
Went back to business school, I had to pay my way 100% with student loans. And at the time, my only two options were the federal government or the private banks. And what I realized was three things. One, rates were too high. Two, the process was complex. And three, the service was really poor. And so I thought, I went back to business school to start a company. I have this personal pain of student loans. I have a background in finance, and I have a passion to start a company from business school, so why don't I put all of that together, focus on this problem, and help fix it? There are a lot of disadvantages that the traditional banking or financial system faces in the new world that we live in. Part of that has to do with legacy technology. It's very difficult to change, and if you do change it, it's costly. It's not very cheap.
What about the interest rate? Is the interest rate you got from CommonBond lower than other places?
And so the federal government represents over 90% of all student loans in this country, and there are many federal government student loans out there that are charging 6, 7, 8% if you include origination fee, fixed APR. Now, if you compare that to a comparable product on our website, you're going to pay somewhere in the 4 to 5% range. And that difference in interest rate allows us to save our borrowers on average about $14,000 over the life of the loan.
各位粉丝好，今天是我们一加创美群第一次呢做这个群里的线上互动活动那我看见很多粉丝最近都在讨论互联网金融这个 fintech 这个是 在创投圈很火的一个话题，也是大家呢非常关注的话题。那今天呢，我们这个讨论的话题呢，就说互联网金融。那我们也选择了一家公司呢，我们大家一起来讨论呢。这家公司叫做 CommonBond， 那它呢专门是做呢线上的学生贷款的业务那它号称呢能够呢让整个申请贷款的程序更加的简化而且呢给出的利息呢还比呢国家的学生贷款和银行的学生贷款都来得低。那下面的1个小时时间，就欢迎各位粉丝踊跃提问。
他们的利息为什么可以比政府低？
他们的钱从哪里来呢？中国留学生也可以通过他们贷款。
他们这么做合法吗？除了便宜，他们还有什么其他优势吗？
感谢大家刚才这么踊跃的提问，我们也把大家呢各种问题做了一个整理，挑选了一些特别精彩的。那我们呢会带着这些问题呢去问一问 CommonBond 的创始人和 CEO。那在节目当中呢，大家会看到呢这些问题的精彩答案。
What about the interest rate? How can you make the interest rate so low?
In the States, the federal government charges one rate to everybody. So regardless of past credit or future prospects or ability to repay, everybody's getting charged the same rate. That is generally not how lending is supposed to work. Lending is supposed to work whereby you provide a rate to somebody based on their underlying credit quality or underlying ability to repay going forward. We focus on a credit-worthy borrower set who we believe, based on a number of different attributes, will pay back their loan with high probability over time, which allows us to bring our rates lower.
You only need 7 minutes to complete your application. Why it takes so little time?
There was a good amount of user experience that was completely unnecessary and created a lot of friction. And so what we did is we removed all of that friction from the application process. We created a new one from the ground up to understand, okay, what do we need baseline from an underwriting perspective in order to decision this loan and tell this applicant whether they're approved or denied and give them their appropriate rate. And what we discovered is that once we built that application process and experience, it only took people about 7 minutes to complete.
I think there's really 2 key principles. The first is simplicity through technology, enabling our borrowers to get the best experience as they're completing the application on their phone, on the train, on the go. And the second is the human touch. It's these sort of anecdotes that help us understand what the borrower pain points are and always just provide better service for them.
来美国上学到底花多少钱呢？拿美国纽约大学商学院就读的小陈同学为例，1年学费6万多，生活费3万多，医保和学杂费又快1万，保守计算1年就要花近11万美金。听起来这个数字真的很吓人，不知道互联网金融贷款平台能帮中国学生实现留学梦吗？
International students who come to the United States to get their master's in business and finance can now come to CommonBond and find a solution to finance their education. And we're able to do that through a partnership we have with Prodigy Finance. And Prodigy Finance is an organization that's been around for 7 or 8 years. They got their start in Europe. They're entering the United States right now. And they decided to work with CommonBond in their entry to the US.
What do you think about the Chinese market, Chinese students market?
I think it's a fascinating market both for the cross-border side. So you have Chinese students who are going to the top universities in the world, which is obviously our current core market. You have partnerships which are happening. So, for example, Tsinghua INSEAD partnership, in which you're having foreign students coming to China, which is going to increase as well.
Banks participated a lot in student loans pre-crisis, but post-crisis, a number of things happened in the market such that the private sector really removed itself from student loans. So the secondary market, securitization market dried up. The federal government guarantee kind of went away, and the federal government came in and said, well, if the private banks are pulling out financially, students still have to go to school and students still need financing, so we're actually going to leverage the Treasury Department to finance these student loans.
感谢百度百家对本栏目的支持，登录百度百家1家频道，获取创业美国更多资讯。
2007年，美国爆发了历史罕见的金融风暴，行业巨头垮台，股市崩盘，并瞬间波及全球经济。在这场风暴中，传统银行业受到重创，面临倒闭危机。金融风暴后，传统银行面临更多的监管压力，放弃了部分贷款业务。人们也在这场风暴之后对传统银行的信任大减。
Our model is basically community funding or crowdfunding. So the funds are coming from a crowd of investors, which include alumni from the universities and the school themselves in some cases. So you have an interesting dynamic of social pressure. We've also formed a couple of partnerships as well to further expand our funding. So for example, last year we started a partnership with Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse is raising funds additionally for us to go through our community platform from family offices, entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals, which gives us additional funds to be able to lend out.
还有不少的网友啊，专门留言问我说，这些平台它是不是靠谱？其实呢，我觉得如果我们只是用户的话呢，大不必担心这个问题，因为啊，最后呢还是我们向这些平台借钱，钱拿到我们手上。倒是我觉得这些平台应该担心这贷款出去的钱最后能不能拿回来。那为了呢降低这方面的风险啊，很多的互联网金融这些创新公司呢也想了很多的办法。那比如说啊，我们今天采访的这个 CommonBond， 他们最早的时候呢，只贷款呢给 MBA 的学生，现在呢，当然啊，已经呢涉及到700个呢美国各大高校的一些呢研究生的项目了，但是也只是那些啊像工程学、会计学，还有呢医药等一些呢比较热门的专业。那 refinances 啊，它的门槛就更高了。那学生贷款呢，只是给啊全世界前60位的 MBA 学院的学生。
CommonBond started to target MBA students at the very beginning. Why did you pick MBA students?
This is because this was a population where we had data on employment prospects and income potential. And employment prospects and income potential are two of the largest drivers of ultimate repayment. And so in our desire to ring fence risk as much as possible in the beginning.
Really the reason being the course is quite short. The earnings after graduation are high, and so it's a good borrower to start on.
CommonBond 在学校和专业上设置了高门槛 ，Prodigy 和 Upstart 等贷款公司还以贷款学生的成绩作为信用衡量标准。看来学霸还是更值钱呢。
When CommonBond determine one loan, you consider a lot of additional factors like school, major. It's very different from other banks and the federal governments. Why so?
Folks who graduate from certain graduate degree programs at certain schools are eligible to apply. Once they apply, we look at things like credit score, credit history, income, how much debt they have. We feel strongly about the credit attributes we have in our underwriting process today to appropriately predict what the future repayment of the borrower is going to be.
可以看出，这两家新兴贷款平台主打的都是未来的精英阶层，也就是现在市场主流的千禧一代。
You mentioned the millennials are the target. They must be different from the traditional lenders' targets. So tell us if a CommonBond is using some different approach to target them.
Yeah, what we think about is what our customer values. Our customer values, especially millennials, value transparency. They have high expectations of the ease of the application and how easy the process will be. So CommonBond focuses on simplicity, service, as well as the requisite savings for getting someone excited about refinancing a student loan. And lastly is our social impact. This is something that really appeals to millennials, and it's at the core of who we are at CommonBond. And what that means is for every degree we fully fund on our platform, we fund the education of a child in the developing world through Pencils of Promise, our social impact partner.
So do you think for millennials, social responsibility will become a big selling point?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind about that, especially with everything that happened a few years back with the kind of the downturn in the economy and what caused that. Social responsibility is on the forefront of the minds of people in my generation.
节目说到这儿呢，大家可能也看清楚了，这个互联网金融公司 FinTech 公司呢，确实呢在用科技的一些方法，让我们的金融服务变得更加的方便，而且还更加的便宜。这2年啊，互联网金融在美国发展的也是非常的不错，这当中呢还涌现出了一些呢独角兽级别的创新公司。那可能大家听说过的就是借贷公司 Lending Club。不少做互联网金融的一些人呢，是认为啊，未来他们能够取代呢传统的金融行业公司。但其实我也觉得呢，这些传统的金融公司呢，也在呢关注科技，不断的推出一些呢新的产品和服务，市场的竞争力呢是越来越激烈了。而对我们消费者来说，相信会变得更加的便利。Will you recommend CommonBond to your friend?
Oh, absolutely. I've recommended to many friends.
Yeah.
The referral bonuses are nice too.
Yeah. What did they say?
Bottom line is you're saving thousands of dollars.